All right, number 40. Did I put down 40? I think I did. YouTube Live number 40. So today we're just going to continue the two sun salutations with variations. And so we'll begin in the mountain pose, settling yourself, gaining the mindset of firmness, of oneness, just like a mountain is one with the earth. It is the earth. And so are we. So we gain that mindset from this pose. Then we'll do two sun salutations slowly. And I will add the variations of a high lunge, a pigeon, or the pigeon, I don't know, and a plank. And we're going to do the plank, and we're going to hold it for 1 minute. And then child pose. So I'll add the child pose. I usually don't do the child pose, but depending where you are, child pose is good for the lower back if you're not used to the plank. Now you could stretch the same area in the downward dog if you really focus on the lower back, but let's just do the child pose to make sure that happens. So get my stopwatch. So let's go ahead and begin. So feet go shoulder width apart. Knees are slightly bent. Hips are tilted. Shoulders are relaxed. Arms are relaxed. And you're going to lengthen yourself up. So make yourself tall. And then think of the toes. Bring the toes up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches one at a time. And you're trying to find that spot where the skeleton is just standing. No tension anywhere. So if there was no muscle, anything, just the skeleton is just standing. You're trying to find that spot. And bring your focus to the breathing. And you're just focusing on the breathing. And that's what you're focusing on during the yoga routine, on the breathing. And that focus is what allows the mind and body to become one, which is yoga. Now palms come together, thumbs to the heart center. When I go up and back, I'm just doing the prayer. I go out a little bit, but you just do the prayer. My hands will disappear in the screen, or out of the screen. So push the arms out, up and back. Inhale slowly. Exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. And just fall into it. So you're falling into the ragdoll. Arms are relaxed, head is relaxed. The arms are dangling. The head is dangling. You just focus on the breathing. In this pose, you're not pushing yourself down. Just let the body go where it goes. You're learning acceptance on the mat, accepting where you are physically, which is a mindset that you take off the mat. Acceptance, not judgment. Letting go of the mindset of control. Just accept. I know I need to get a mic. I'll get a mic eventually, but I've had problems with the last mic so much that I'm going to have to move on and focus on some other stuff. Like the video, carpet, different things like that. So you bring the palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs, arch the back, raise the head, inhale slowly. Then exhale, as you exhale, you pull yourself in and down, forehead's going towards the knees, push all the air out. And again, inhale, arch the back, raise the head. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. And again, inhale, arch the back, raise the head. I already said inhale, but inhale, exhale, pull yourself in and down, push all the air out. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. So with the low lunge, with the back foot, the top of the foot is to the floor, knees to the floor. Think of the hips. Get the hips square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is straight, maybe arched a little bit. Palms are to the floor, maybe your fingertips, or maybe you're just here. Just do what you can. Settle in the pose, and accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Think of the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up into a high lunge so you get the leg straight as you can. Settle in the pose, accept where you are, focus on the breathing. If you're not doing what you think you should be doing, as in the textbook pose, that's okay. Just get where you can, settle in it, and accept where you are. Your mind and body is connecting as one, you're doing yoga, no matter how you think the pose should look. You're letting go of that mindset of control or trying to be somewhere. Now, for the pigeon, right foot goes over to the left side as the foot down from the left hand. Scoot back some, so you scoot back a little bit, fall on top of the leg. So you square up the hips and just fall on the leg. Now in this pose, you're not pushing down. You're just accepting where you are, and you're focused on the breathing. Bring yourself up. So arms are straight. Hip bones are square, so they're pushing forward diagonally. Your back is straight or maybe arched. The head is dropping back. Just do the best you can and just focus on the breathing. Now, when you focus on the breathing, you're aware of where you're feeling the stretch, but you're not focused on those areas. For me, I'm aware of it in my lower back, especially my right side of my lower back and my hip. But I'm not focused on that. I'm just aware of it. Now, you're going to get to the high lunge, so get there how you can. So right foot goes up between the hands. We're not going to stay in the high lunge. We're just going to settle in it. Then downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Tailbones to the ceiling. Heels to the floor or towards the floor. No tension in the neck, so the head is dangling. And you just focus on the breathing. Now, we're going to go into the plank. And you're going to modify the plank how you have to. So go into the plank. If you need to go down to the knees, you go down to the knees. You need to just go like that. Go to the hands and knees. But whatever you're doing, you want to make sure the spine, not the spine, the belly button is going into the spine. So you're engaging the abs. You're not sucking in the abs. You're engaging them. And you just focus on the breathing. If it's too much, don't do it. If you're feeling your lower back too much, don't do it. Or modify it. But whatever you're doing, you're going to settle in it, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. So no matter where you are, you're modifying it, no matter what you're doing, you're focused on the breathing, your mind and body is connecting, you're doing yoga. We have 10 more seconds. going to drop down to the knees. Space out the knees, so you flatten the feet, space out the knees, and just let your belly go up and down. Keep the hands where they are, sitting back on the heels. Extend the child pose. In this pose, you're not pushing yourself down. Just let yourself go where you go. And think of your fingers, walk yourself out. Keep the butt down, but walk yourself out with your fingers. Then you're going to bring yourself back up, back to hands and knees. So knees are hip width apart. Curl the toes under. Technically, your fingers are watching good. Middle finger's pointing straight out. Then we're going to go in the downward dog. We're not going to stay in the downward dog. We're just using it as a transition. So push into it a little bit. Then slide into the upward dog. And then you're going to modify the upward dog. So technically, tops of the feet are to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. The head is back. But if you can't do that, or if you don't feel like you should, just do the small cobra. Chest is off the floor, shoulders are up. Not pushing, you're using the back muscles. Palms are touching the floor, but you're pulling up with the back muscles. Or just modify it how you have to, and accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Then, back to downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight, heels towards the floor, or they're into the floor. Tailbones going to the ceiling. No tension in the neck, so the head is dangling. Then you do the low lunge, so the left foot is up between the hands. So with the back foot, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, square at the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. Back is straight or maybe arch, palms to the floor, or your fingers, or you're just doing this. Just do what you can, accept where you are, and focus on the breathing. Now think of the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes up, high lunge, so make the back leg as straight as you can. Settle into the pose, accept where you are, focus on the breathing. Now for the pigeon, left foot goes over to the right side, foot down from the hand. Scoot back a little bit, flatten the back foot, fall on top of the leg, square at the hips, and you're just sinking into the pose. Accepting where you are, you're not pushing down, just let your body go where it goes. Bring yourself up, straighten up, arms go straight, think at the hips, square them up. You're pushing forward, so you're pushing the hips forward diagonally, and you're doing sort of like a scoop with the back. And you just focus on the breathing. Now you're going to go into the high lunge. You're going to bring the left foot up between the hands. You got to get there how you can. You're not going to stay in the high lunge. We're just going to settle there. Then move into the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going towards the knees. Arms together, reach out, up and back. Inhale. Exhale. Push there down and out. One more sun salutation with variations. Inhale. Exhale. Hinge forward. Pull yourself in and down for the standing forward bend. In this pose, you're letting yourself breathe. So when you inhale, the belly swells with air, so it pushes you out of the pose slightly. And then when you exhale, the belly goes in. You're just focused on the breathing, but you're aware of that subtle movement. Palms to the side, palms to the sides of the feet. Thought I was in the ragdoll for a second. So low lunge. So with the back foot, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, square up the hips, pushing forward diagonally. Back is straight, maybe arched a little bit, it just depends where you are. Palms are to the floor, maybe the fingers. For me, I've gotten a little looser, so my palms are down to the floor. I was up a little bit before. I'm aware of that. I'm not focused on that because I'm focusing on the breathing. I'm actually focusing on the instruction, but technically you're focused on the breathing, aware of the movement, aware of your progression, aware of what's going on. Now for the high lunge, think of the back foot, curl the toes under, knee goes straight. Settle in the pose, accept where you are, focus on the breathing. Now for the pigeon, right foot goes over to the left side, as the foot down from the left hand. Scoot back just a little bit. And then you're going to fall on top of the leg, square up the hips, and just sink into the pose. Straighten up. So arms go straight. Think of the hips, pushing them forward diagonally. Back is arched, doing a scoop with the back. The head is dropping back. Settle in the pose, accept where you are, focus on the breathing. And we're going to go into the high lunge. So you're going to get the right foot up between the hands, get there how you have to. We're not going to stay in the high lunge. Just settling there first before we move into downward dog. Now move into downward dog, arms straight, legs are straight, heels to the floor, towards the floor. You're pushing into it just a little bit, getting to that spot right where you feel like, man, if I go any more, it would be too far. So you want to find that spot, settle in that spot, and just focus on the breathing. Now we're going to go into the plank. Whoops. Just give me a second. I got to pull up my. So go into the plank, modify it how you have to. You need to go down to the knees, go down to the knees. However you're doing it, just make sure the belly button is going into the spine. So you're engaging the abs and just focus on the breathing. Step where you are and focus on the breathing. If you're feeling it too much in your lower back, just bring yourself out of it and go into the child pose. 30 more seconds. Twenty seconds. 10 seconds. I go down to the knees, flatten the feet, space out the knees, keep the hands where they are, sitting back on the heels. Now think of the lower back. Think of having the lower back stretched. And keep the butt down, but use your fingers. Walk yourself out with the fingers. And bring yourself back up. Have the hands and knees, curl the toes under, knees are hip width apart. Fingers as wide as you get them, middle fingers pointing straight. Downward dog. Pushing into it. Then slide into the upper dog or the small cobra. Modify it how you have to. Again, if it's too much on your lower back, it's real easy to hurt your lower back. So be real careful. Just bring yourself out of it. Accept where you are and focus on the breathing. It doesn't matter. You're letting go of the mindset of trying to be somewhere. Just accept where you are. And that's what you're learning on the yoga mat, acceptance. Back to downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight, legs are straight, heels towards the floor, or they're into the floor, tailbones to the ceiling. And you're pushing to that spot right before you think, hey, I shouldn't go that far. Right before that. You settle there, no matter how you think the pose should look, no matter where you are, and you accept where you are. Now for the little lunge, left foot is up. The back foot goes flat, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor. Hips are square, they're pushing forward diagonally. Palms to the floor, maybe your fingers. And just focus on the breathing. Now think of the back foot, curl the toes under, the knee goes up, get the knee as straight as you can. Leg as straight as you can, and just settle in it, focus on the breathing. Now for the pigeon, left foot goes over to the right side. So the foot down from the hand, scoot back a little bit, flatten the back foot. Fall on top of the leg. Hip bones are square. And just go down where the body allows you to go. You're not pushing into it. Just accepting where you go. Now go ahead and straighten yourself up. Arms are straight. Look at the hips. Square them up. Dropping the head back, and you're doing your scoop with the back. The back is arched. Maybe it's straight. Maybe you're down like this. Maybe that's all you can do. Do what you can. Focus on the breathing. Now you're going to go into the high lunge, so you're going to get there how you have to. So left foot is up between the hands. I'm not going to stay in high lunge, but we will settle in the high lunge. Then move into the standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going towards the knees. Let yourself breathe, but you're focused on the breathing. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Exhale. Push the air down and out. Then you're going to go to mountain pose. Remember with the mountain pose, bring the toes up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches one at a time. Knees are bent, maybe not, most likely. Hips are tilted, arms are relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. Think of yourself as being tall, so strengthen. Lengthen up, straighten up, straighten up. That doesn't sound, that sounds negative. So lengthen up. And just focus on the breathing. Now with mountain pose, you're gaining the mindset of firmness, of oneness, just like a mountain. It's one with the earth, is the earth, and so are you. So you're one with the earth, you are the earth. You're becoming one, so the mind and body is connecting. Now you're just going to focus on the breathing, watching yourself breathe. You're already breathing, so you're letting go of the mindset of control. You're not going to control the breathing, you're just going to watch it. And one way to do that is you inhale, the belly swells with air. Just watch the belly. As you exhale, the belly goes in. You just watch that. Or bring your focus to the tip of your nose. And watch the air go in and out. Putting the palms together. Understand. And that's it. That's number 40. I need to get a calendar because I'm losing track of how many. So it's 30 days in June, and then it's the 10th of July. And I've been doing it since June 1st, in July, yeah. So it's 40. That's how I've been keeping track. And I'm starting to look, hey, so when it's July 11th, it'll be 41. I need to, eventually I'll lose track, so I need to get a calendar. Anyways, that's nothing to do with yoga. Oh, I guess it does. Yes. Everything is so involved. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So namaste, peace and love.